It's something that we're not sure if I can say, but what we will be introducing for launch is
So with Payday 3, we've decided to look at all the parts of Payday 2 and Payday the Heist and see what we felt worked and what didn't work. So with skills, we kind of wanted to start with a blank slate. So what we have is we don't have perk decks or skill trees anymore. We've changed that to skill lines. Basically how they work is you have a base node, you have upgrade nodes, and you have a mastery node. And the upgrade nodes go from 3 to 5 upgrade nodes depending on the skill. And then we have mastery nodes, which are weaker, but they don't require you to equip any upgrades or base. You do not have to pick all the nodes in a skill line. So how they are laid out is you have the base node, and then it has upgrade lines, and you do not have to pick the upgrades in sequence. You just have to have the base skill equipped.
in general how the in-game economy will function is that chiefly you'll be stealing cash, which is the main currency. The thing is, the cash will inflate. You'll have a lot of cash. We want to maintain that. And how you're going to spend the cash will be on different items. My name's Charlie Tchaikovsky, and I'm the Senior Game Economy Designer here at Starbreeze. We have a secondary currency, which is C-stacks, which you're using to spend on other specific items. And these two things are functioning together. And you're converting your cash into the C-stacks.
What are C-stacks? What does it stand for?
It comes from CrimeNet stacks. It's this slightly obscure crypto-like currency that's associated with CrimeNet. What you can do is you can buy specific items that we decide on. So that'll be some high-end equipment like weapons and cosmetics, and also the final upgrade levels of weapons.
What we're trying to do with the cash to C-stack trading is you have a vendor in the game that lets you trade cash for C-stacks, and the more cash you trade, the more expensive each subsequent trade gets, and then every week that resets and you can trade again at the most favorable rate.
We'll look to use those C-stacks going forward into post-launch contents.
And also, just to make sure there's no confusion, C-stacks are not a premium currency. The only way to earn them in-game is from cash you get by playing. There's no real money connection to them. The three core buffs are Edge, Grit, and Rush. Edge is a damage buff, Grit is a defense buff, and Rush is a speed buff. And how the game works is you can get one of each buff, so you can't get multiples of the same type, and you get them through skills. What we want players to do is we want them to kind of look at how they get these buffs from their build and play around that. So for example, the aim down sight skill that says you get an edge after aiming down sight, that's from a skill line that's focused on sniping, but that same edge buff can be used for skills that are also using that buff but aren't related to sniper rifles or long distance combat. So you're basically mix and matching, how do I get this buff from where, and then which skills benefit from me having that buff active, and then you can build however you want.
Skill points, they are earned through the main progression system, which is called the infamy system. I assign at different levels when a skill point unlocks. So as the player progresses, they're going to build up their skill points, and then they've got essentially more points, but you can think of them as a resource. They've got more of these points to use and apply and equip skills with. So as they're progressing, they're getting more variety in what skills they can use.
Skill points aren't permanently spent, so this is more like the capacity of skill points you have. We're keeping the part of Payday 2 where you can equip and unequip skills freely and experiment with different builds as you want. Right now, the last skill point is unlocked on Infamy level 100, and it's 21 skill points total. As you complete challenges in the game, you get infamy points, and that increases your infamy level in the game. And there's 150 levels on launch. On level 100 is when we unlock the last gameplay thing, which is the final skill point. At that point, you have all the base weapons unlocked, all the gameplay features, all the skill points. After that, it's only cosmetic rewards. So from 100 to 150, it's basically bragging rights. But as we add more challenges to the game post-launch, there will be easier methods to get to level 100. So we're gonna add extra skill points, and now the new soft cap is, for example, 110, and the new hard cap is 160, for example. We expect all players to be able, if they play enough, to get to level 100. Like, that should be within reach of everybody. But if you want to get to level 150, then that's the hardcore dedication part.
Experience points are like a resource you get from playing the heist. It's are distributed evenly into the different weapons and skills that you have. But the infamy points are like the overall control of our progression. If you play a heist and you generate 500 experience points for the heist, then the weapon that you have equipped will get 500 experience points, and the skill line that you have equipped will get 500 experience points.
We have a challenge book, which you can go through. It's broken up into a few categories, and you can filter based on challenges in progress, completed, or locked. And we plan, post-launch to improve the, the flow and the feedback and information that players feel is missing.
The idea we're trying to create is that we're not restricting the players into doing specific challenges and they have to focus on one thing. Generally, we want to say, go play the game. Just go and enjoy it, and you will experience progression. You will always be doing something, and you'll always be progressing something towards something. And then later on, you need to focus on some specific things, and there's things that will test the skill level. Unlocking new weapons, this comes down to the progression system, which is based on challenges. Those challenges reward infamy points, and the infamy points contribute to you leveling up your infamy level, and at new different account levels as you're progressing, you unlock new weapons. But when you're playing with a weapon as well, you are dumping experience points into it, and that unlocks new modifications that you can have for that weapon.
If you level up the car 4, every car 4 you buy is going to be the same level. It's not that particular car 4. The only thing that's particular to the weapon is which mods you pay to unlock on that version. That's always the difficult question of how do I have a stealth build and a loud build at the same time. We have tried our best to make skills be useful in both stealth and loud, but we hope that the amount of skill points we give you is enough for you to have a loadout where you attempt stealth but are still capable in loud. So something we tried to make sure when we were designing Payday 3 is that without any skills, without any mods, just getting a weapon and going in, that the game feels good. Essentially, as long as you have the gear unlocked, you should be fine. What skills are there to do is to emphasize a playstyle and to make things easier for you.
When I've played the game, I've seen it get more fun, and I really like the sort of high octane action and everything that happens in the chaos when you're playing the heists. And like, as a designer, we're always playing as well, even as when you're working on these progression systems. So like, this is really nice.
The most complicated thing to implement is the thing we are not actually launching with, and I will not commit to what it is.
We're not going to have anybody swinging in through the windows. No.
Yet.
Yet.
No. It's actually a much more boring story. Was that another 40 minutes of raw footage for you?